Hi, it's Ryan from ADHD Dude and Ride the Wave Counseling. I hope you're doing well. I have a question here that came through the ADHD and Boys section of the Attitude Magazine website, where I am now doing videos on ADHD and boys. So please feel free to head over there. I'm going to put a link below and submit your question to be answered. And if it is answered in a video, please know that there won't be any identifying information used. Okay. So, question is, our son won't get out of bed on time and has even slept through school. They don't say how old the son is, but I'm assuming middle school or high school. He won't do chores and falls behind on homework. This is all related to his impulsive nature and electronic devices. I don't 100% agree with that, but we have tried and tried taking away the devices, but he finds ways to sneak them back without any shame or remorse. The only thing that has worked has been to leave his Nintendo Switch at my office. We can't do that with his phone or his school Chromebook. How can we get him to respect any limits we place on the use of his devices? Okay, the number one thing I'm going to tell you is that you need to have a discussion with him and explain that the use of his devices are a privilege. They are not his right. He is not paying for them. And if he makes the choice not to use them in a way that's expected and within the parameters that you set, then he cannot have these devices. So let's talk about the phone for number one, okay? If he is struggling with using a smartphone appropriately, what I'm going to tell you to do is get rid of the smartphone and go on Amazon or wherever and get him a cheap flip phone and give him that. Okay, because if you need a way to get in touch with him, you need a way to get in touch with him. Okay, but he does not need to have a smartphone. And one of the things that you can work on is having him work up to earning a smartphone by him making good choices and doing what's expected. Okay, the next thing is I'm going to say in regards to using the internet and Chromebook and the other things you mentioned, again, what I teach kids is that having internet access is a privilege. It's not your right. And what I tell parents is, figure out how to switch the access code so you can shut it off on and off at your convenience. Okay, because you can't be there all the time to monitor him if you're at work, most likely. So what I will tell you to do is shut it off until he learns how to use it appropriately and put it on when he needs it. Okay, so I think the bigger question here is, the fact that he does not seem to respect your rules or the parameters that you set. So I think what I'm going to suggest to you is that you focus on teaching him, number one, that again, these things that are earned, and they're earned by making good choices and contributing to being part of a family. Okay, so for instance, if you want internet, if you want a phone, if you want a Nintendo Switch, okay, there's certain things you have to do, and you have to lay out the expectations very clearly for him about what's expected on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, both in terms of chores, it might be with hygiene, it might be with, behavioral expectations. Now, keep in mind that, often kids with ADHD have difficulty regulating their emotions, so I would really stick to more concrete things like the things like I talked about, daily chores and evening or weekly chores as well, and hygiene if that's an issue as well. So, the idea being that if he wants these things, he has to earn them and he has to work towards them, okay? And this has to be very clearly spelled out on paper for him, okay? So the idea being that if you want these things, you work towards them and you can earn them. And keep in mind that, we can't say to kids with ADHD, okay, if you do this all week, you'll earn this on the weekend. That is too abstract of a concept. They cannot think ahead that far into the future, right? That's the essence of ADHD, is difficulty or lagging nonverbal working memory, I should say. So I think really the bigger issue at hand here is you putting expectations in place and having things to be earned, okay? Instead of just asking him to do things, that he has to understand reciprocity in relationships. If he wants things, then he has to do something to earn those things, okay? I hope this is helpful. Feel free to leave any questions or comments below, and I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.